right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again with another brand new episode of the Titbix podcast. Of course, I got my boy here with me in the virtual studio. We're back at it. Dude, I love the new look. Let's start off with that. Wait. Agua di Gio Armani.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably a knockoff. I found it. I just found it.
Good man. Good smell though. If it's the real one, good smell. Good smell.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh man, I love that thick mustache, dude. Love it. I mean, I got a baby one compared to yours. Mine's like silky. It's like yours is like one of those thick ass caterpillars. Mine's just like a baby little worm.
Yeah, that the caterpillar that will one day blossom into a beautiful butterfly.
Yeah,
butterfly that I'll call Charisse.
Charisse.
Yeah, baby.
So man, yeah, definitely. How you been though, bro? So should we start? Okay, you had your little. You want to talk to the people and kind of inform them on what's been going on in regards to you testing positive for you know what?
AIDS.
I
mean,
AIDS.
I thought it was obvious.
That's why you went balls to the wall and bought a penthouse suite up in Seattle, as I can see. So you just don't give a fuck anymore, huh?
Nope, just maxed out the credit card and just living life hard, you know. got the maker's mark that I pretty much downed with our last guest with Kendra Crump.
Yes, I was letting you wait for it so you.
She was a splendid guest, by the way.
Awesome
I just loved her, and you made an appearance on her podcast and
yesterday. Yep.
Yeah, and you represented the Tip Touch, so thank you for doing that, and thank you, Kendra, for coming on the Tip Touch. That was you were an amazing guest. And we can't wait. We're actually going to have her on. Definitely. And she agreed to come back on. So yeah, that's going to be happening. So, you know, I figured just ball out before I die, you know, I'm like, my days are numbered and I just, you know, I want to leave my mark on this precious, beautiful earth.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, your voice is going to forever live on the pod. So you're good on that. Absolutely.
You know, I'm going to, you know, the YouTube is just going to know this beautiful face for what it is. Yeah. So tested positive for COVID. That was pretty, like, you know, it's funny because we've been making fun of it this whole time, basically.
Okay. Whoa. It's not about me making fun of it, but it was one of those things at the beginning. I was kind of like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be wild if this just showed up over here in a matter of couple days, and then sure enough it did, right? Like we started hearing about local people around the area having it, testing positive for it, and then it just after that it flipped the country upside down.
Yeah, I mean, it was flipped the world upside down. I mean,
literally.
And you know, and when I say make fun of it, we just made light of it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah, you know, it's pretty crazy in Italy. It's pretty crazy in, you know, like India right now. They're dealing with
it. Oh, dude, yeah. Let's talk about that too. Yeah, definitely. But as you were saying, though.
Yeah. Well, so basically, I mean, you know, like one day I'm working, doing my thing, and I'm kind of joking with people. I'm joking with you. I'm sending you text messages like. I'm like, man, you know, I feel I feel like a little bit. I mean, I was just like a little bit tired. Had a little bit of a runny nose. But I was just like, what if I have COVID? And you know, and I'm like, hey, you know, Walgreens, are they still testing? And you're like, I don't know. I think you got to make appointments. So I'm like, I'm not waiting for an appointment. Yeah. I fly first class. I don't fly coach. And so, you know, I didn't want to wait. And so I did wait, and I did get my temperature checked. My temperature checked at a 97.5 on the FM dial. If you're listening, that's W balls.
W balls.
Everybody's got to hear the shit on W balls. W balls. So I, you know, temperature was okay. Symptoms were completely mild. Like it felt like I had a cold, basically. You know, and so, you know, 7 days went past, and I worked every single day, and good man. Exposing God knows how many people, how many souls on this beautiful earth. And then finally my wife was like, all of a sudden she started getting sick, and our daughter got sick, and she's like, I'm I'm going to go to the doctor because she's smarter than I am and more patient than I am. And so she went in and I go, hey, if you get a positive test, I need to know because I need to like let everybody know pronto, you know?
Like, I
So
need to know now.
yeah. Yeah. So I had like about 15 minutes left of work and she calls and says, I tested positive for COVID. I'm like, oh, snap. So my manager sent me home. I went and immediately got tested and I tested positive. And then my daughter tested positive, and here we are, you know. So it's like it's crazy because like for me, it was very mild. Um, Nothing I'd stop a whole economy for, nothing I would shut down a whole country for. It was nothing that I would close business after business after business after business for. I mean, like I was like, okay, if this is all that COVID is, um, okay, it didn't affect me. My wife, it was she got hit a little bit harder than I did, and but she has some other issues going on, and so she had to get an inhaler, which she needed anyway. Let's just be honest. No.
Yes, I love it.
Uh,
That mustache, man, it's bringing something different from you, man. I love it. I love it. I love it.
You know how many times I've been shaven, like I've shaved, and I'm like, oh, I just want to leave a mustache on for one day, and this is my golden opportunity right here.
Dude.
You know,
But you should let it to where it comes down like all the way like that. Like let it grow out so where it just fucking comes down.
we'll see. I mean, I'm not crypto rich, but when I am crypto rich, I have an album lined up. I have a lot of things are going to happen when I'm crypto rich. I mean,
Thinking ahead of the game.
People are going to be like, dude, like you're not going to even know who Takashi 6ix9ine is when I'm crypto rich. You'll just completely forget about him because I will be more obnoxiouser. You know,
it.
I'll be looking crazy and I'll be smelling good too.
Good. Yeah, bars, baby.
Free advertisement, bitch. So anyway, I mean, COVID, like, yeah, okay. I was thinking, why wasn't I more fatigued than I was, right? And then I realized I drink 600 milligrams of caffeine a day. And, I drink these energy drinks and I think it's called Rain and it's the thermo one. And on the back of the can, it says reduces fatigue. So I was like, well, there's your answer.
There you go.
So basically, Rain is the cure for COVID. You don't feel the fatigue, but I mean, I'm in good health. I really wasn't, and then it's funny because the doctor's like, well, you really should still get the vaccination, the shot. And I was like, my antibodies are in me now. I'm not on a stretcher. You're not hauling me out in a meat wagon, and I'm not contagious for at least 3 months. So no.
So you can put that tracking chip somewhere else, baby.
Little vaccine.
Not me. Yeah.
Okay. But on a real level, I almost buckled and I almost got one.
Really?
Because because for a minute I got scared. For a minute I was like, what? Because I didn't want to expose, like I did not know I was sick, people. I didn't know I was sick. Yeah, I'm like so healthy. I'm so healthy. So healthy. I mean, look at me. This is a specimen of health. Like there is nothing unhealthy about this. Like it looks like I'm fat. That's an illusion. That's an illusion. I'm healthy. I am so healthy. Healthier than healthy. Yeah. And so it's like you can't touch me. You can't touch me. Wuhan, it all started in Wuhan with the bat soup and all, whatever. Batman can't get me. Batman can't get me. So it's like I'm indestructible. I was a little tired. That's it. Yeah. I was a little tired. And I mean, and here's the other thing. I'm so addicted to caffeine that's what hit me. Like if there was anything that kicked my ass over this thing, I lost my appetite. I lost my sense of smell. I lost my sense of taste. So during that time where I lost my sense of taste and smell, I was eating nothing but vegetables because I literally won't eat any of those because I'm so healthy. And so I was just like, I was eating celery and carrots and all kinds of salads, and I'm like, because I can't taste anything, so this is awesome, you know.
Yeah.
So like for 3 days I was a vegan, and but I ate meat too. But when I ate salad, I was a vegan.
Okay. Okay. So you're
Yeah.
partially vegan.
I mean, when I was not eating meat, I was a vegan. Like,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Makes
like
sense. Makes
for I
sense.
was momentarily a vegan, and so I, I was like, man, I kind of like this, you know, but when I the COVID, it made me lose my appetite, so I wasn't really all that hungry, but it made me not want my energy drinks too. Well, when you're doing 600 to 900 milligrams of caffeine a
Damn.
day, right?
Holy shit.
Doctor, if you're listening, nah,
Yeah.
I'm healthy. So I'm, my body is so dependent on all that caffeine that all of a sudden this huge headache just hit me. And then, have you ever had caffeine withdrawals?
Oh, dude, I remember. I think there was a certain time where we were working together, and I told you I was going through that. I was just getting these fucking like massive headaches, and it was really fucking
And
with me.
tired, right?
Yeah.
Tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when I was sleeping, it wasn't the COVID that was making me sleep. It was my caffeine withdrawals that were kicking my ass. But I love it. I love it when I have withdrawals because I love fighting it. I love just letting it just kick my ass. And so I was just like laying in this fetal position, like,
Ugh,
I know what's
I can't do
happening.
it. I can't.
I'll never have another drink again. Never have another drink. But I've been drinking every day since.
Oh
Caffeine, by the way.
shit, caffeine. Yeah.
So I
Well, you
mean,
have Coors Light on your hat.
I've been drinking and smoking too, and
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you it wasn't. So I have a theory though. Now that while you were talking about that, sorry for interrupting, but
Yeah,
I think the very first time you got sick when you came back from vacation, when you went to the Philippines, I honestly think you had COVID at that time, and that hit you hard at that first, and then now you were kind of somewhat immune to it, so it didn't hit you as bad. So that's probably why
same
it
theory I
helped
had.
you. I
Yep.
think so. I think
That's
so.
what I told
Honestly,
people.
yeah.
I said the people that knew I got sick for the first time or got sick in the Philippines, which I actually got sick in Washington, but I brought it with me to the Philippines.
It just went and
Um,
came. You went and came back with it.
yeah, well, I was it was December 26th of 2019. It was the day after Christmas. We've been drinking all night long, and I just woke up the next day and like I literally thought I was going to die. But it was crazy because I felt so comfortable. It was the only time that I ever felt like I was going to die in life, but I was like when I was laying in the bed and I was fading out, I told myself I was so comfortable. I said I could let go right now, and
Damn,
I'm okay with that. My
really?
brain, there was something in my brain. I I felt like I was going to die, but it felt so comfortable. I felt like I was just fading silently, and it was okay. It was nothing but comfort. When I healed, when I got better from all that, and I did cough. I had a massive cough. Um, the people that went with us, we had a guest with us that went to the Philippines as well. She got sick, super sick. I mean, and that thing stuck with me for 2 weeks. It was the worst I'd been sick in 15 years. And 15 years ago, I had the flu, and this was worse. This was as bad, if not worse, than that.
I
And
do remember that. Yeah.
so yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. So yeah, this time around, maybe I just caught it again, and it was just like ain't no thing but a chicken wing,
Mm,
but
mhm.
because I got those antibodies,
Yeah, and some now since you got it two times technically,
right?
right? Yeah.
And some. That's the new anthem. Baby, start dancing. You
Woo!
so handsome.
Damn, that album's gonna be fire once you release that, boy. I'll tell you what.
Oh yeah. My first single is gonna be called Single Wide Mansion. And
Oh. Single wide mansion.
yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
because I'm gonna get crypto rich, and the idea, my real idea, is because I want to be stupid rich. Like if it's just a milli, it'll be nice to have a milli, and I'll
Mhm.
pay off the house. But I mean, I'm still be working. I'll just have some money to do some trips and live lavishly for a minute. But it's not enough to get a Lambo. I'm
Okay.
talking like anything over 10 mil, I'm clocking out. And so my idea is that with the album, as I want to take a single wide trailer, and I want to pay a contractor to make it a mansion. So like if it's a single wide, what we'll do is we'll extend it if we need to, and then we'll add floors to it.
A
You know,
quadruple
but
wide
like
double
we could
floor.
add different trailers to it to where it's just like different years of trailer, different widths of trailers. But we'll mold it in a way that they somehow go together, and then we'll have like a pool. It'll look like the yard of a mansion, like that you would see in Beverly Hills or the hills in California, but it'll be just a trailer, and maybe we could even do it in a way that it like makes a crescent shape around the pool or whatever, and just cut angles on the trailer. But that's the idea, and it has to be in Kentucky. I mean, I'm not, I'm not gonna put one of those. I put probably Gavin Newsom before he gets recalled. He probably wouldn't even let me have a that type of a structure in Killicali. It's the state murder.
State
So,
murder. Killer
yeah.
Kelly is a state murder. Man, you put a lot of thought into it though. You sounded really descriptive when you talked about all the details. So I believe you, man. I think once you put your mind to it, it's gonna happen. So hey man, I can't wait to see it. Hope you invite me to
Oh
check it
yeah.
out. And yeah, we'll go from there, man.
That's the goal. That's the goal, and get lots of guests on there. Definitely, I've told you before my dream of having ICP as a guest.
Yep.
And
Let's speak that to
where
the
you
future.
and I, the thing about having ICP on is we could have them come on, and then they would show us how to do the face makeup. So
Oh,
all
dude,
of
we
us
would
would
have
be
to do the
doing our
fucking
face
makeup.
makeup, and then they would give us clown names like Shaggy Too Dope and Violent J would give us like I'll be like like I don't know, like Bungalow B or something, whatever, you know, what, whatever they come up
Bungalow
with.
B. Okay, okay, okay. Damn, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that would be fucking dope. Like I said, we got to do it. We got to do the session with the makeup on.
Oh, that's given. I mean, come on,
It's the only
come
way to
on.
do it. It's the only way to do it. Well, talking about crypto, uh, so I know before on the past previous episodes, which you can check out on all major streaming platforms and YouTube, you talked about how Dogecoin. I even said it right. It was going to tank here. I didn't really say a precise date, but it's been taking a pretty spike on it. I mean, you want to kind of talk about that as well? I mean,
Yeah.
what aside from Elon Musk, or do you think it's just Elon Musk having it to where it's jumping up like crazy, like him himself, or is there other factors within that as well?
I'll tell you this:
Okay, let's talk
Doge
about it.
is the people's coin, and if here's the cool thing. So my my relationship with Dogecoin is a love hate relationship.
You said that before, yep.
There's no fundamentals to it. Nothing makes sense about it. But remember, what got me into crypto was the whole thing with the GME Wall Street bets. Remember, we did that episode. We
Yep.
were talking about how Wall Street bets went against the hedge funds over on the East Coast, and they basically were going at war with each other. Well, that war is still going on.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Dogecoin in crypto is like what GME GameStop stock is to the stock market. It's something that a bunch of Neanderthals run behind and support. And in Dogecoin's corner, they have Snoop Dogg, Elon Musk, Cuban. Mark Cuban has said some things about Dogecoin. I think his quote was, "If I had the choice between a lottery ticket and Dogecoin, I'd choose Dogecoin." But
Okay.
you know, but he was basically making it sound like, but don't make me think that I'm gonna get Dogecoin, or don't make you think whatever. So
Yeah.
George W. Bush of me. But so anyway, so here's the thing. So this is where that's like it's crazy, right? Because Elon Musk has just garnered so much support behind Dogecoin. But here's the thing: the support was behind Dogecoin before Elon Musk entered the building. Elon Musk was a bonus for the Doge holders, and any true holder will tell you that they've been doing this since before Elon Musk was in the picture.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is now that Elon's in the picture, it's spiking up. Now I think that it's sort of reckless for Elon Musk to be doing this, because what's going to happen is there will be people, a lot of people, that end up losing a lot of money, because I mean, I'm hearing people putting in 10, 20, 30. I was just watching a video today. Some guy put $180,000 in Dogecoin when it was 4 cents, and then now it's, it's 66 cents. So my theory was that what if you go into the Reddit chat room, I think it's r Dogecoin, they're trying to pump this thing to $1. And so anytime you're trying to get it that high, you don't hit that goal. What happens is people start, because everybody knows that the dollar is a goal, so people are taking profits at 80 cents. So my recommendation to the chat group, to our crypto chat group, was, if you're going to get into this, take profits at 75 cents, right? 75, 80 cents. And lo and behold, earlier this week, it got up to 74 cents at its peak.
Mm-hmm.
I called it. I said it because I understand what this market is doing. Now, what I will say though, and it was so funny because my wife and I, we sort of were going back and forth over this morning. She was asking where she could buy Dogecoin. And I kind of got frustrated, and I said,
did you one of
the
those?
fundamentals aren't there.
I'm just kidding, people.
No.
I said I'm just kidding. I'm a fool. I'm a fool.
By the way.
What was that?
Regular. That was what my mom did to me on the regular. Get your ass to school. Get out.
I'm playing. It's all jokes here, baby. It's all jokes here in the podcast. Come on,
now. Hey, Mr. Mailman. Blaming all my roots.
Oh, man.
I showed up in boots. Yeah. So anyway, we were having this go back and forth. Okay. And I told her, I said, listen, this thing, I said, the reason why it's so fun watching this Dogecoin thing play out is because a lot of people are going to lose money. And that's the funny part, because it's just a lot of stupid people that don't understand crypto. They're just jumping in on the hype, getting caught in the hype. They're not doing the research on the what, what is the purpose of your crypto that you want to get into. Dogecoin was the code. It was mimicked after Bitcoin. The difference between Dogecoin and Bitcoin has scarcity working in its favor. There was only 21 billion or trillion, whatever, Bitcoins created. And so eventually we're at 18 billion or trillion, whatever, however many were made. We're our bot right now, we are going to run out of Bitcoin. Excuse me. Dogecoin, there's an unlimited amount. There's no cap on the supply, meaning it's just like the US dollar. In 1971, we got off the gold standard. So what happened prior to 1971 was you could only, the Federal Reserve was only allowed to print the amount of dollars that we had worth of gold in the vault. But then in 1971, they decided, well, here's the thing. Our needs for the dollar surpass the amount of gold we can possibly hold. So let's come up with this idea of taking the dollar off the gold standard. So you basically created the unlimited amount of fiat dollars that can be created. And since then we've seen inflation through the roof. We're seeing inflation happen right before our eyes this year. In fact, if you're listening on the Tip Touch, some things I recommend in our economy, some of the essentials that you're going to need for the next year: deodorant, toothpaste, whatever, some of the essentials.
Diapers too.
Yeah. Yep. Stock up now.
Yep.
Toilet paper.
I read about that.
Yep. Stock up now, because this year, the prices on those commodities, those things that you just think that you can just go to Target or Walmart or wherever you want to go, could triple, because inflation is happening before our eyes. And this is exactly why I have stressed that this debt that we're not paying is going to end up catching up to us. So, yeah, we're living it right now.
But to put into simpler terms, what you're pretty much saying, the value of Dogecoin, there is no value because it's an unlimited amount, right?
Well, no, I'm not saying there's no value, because there is value to the dollar bill. It's whatever the more money that goes into it. It's just that the only thing that keeps it value is the usage of it, the
Okay,
adoption. So
okay.
if companies want to use it and they accept Dogecoin, it's however many holders have it, but it will continue, the value of it will continue to diminish. Like, let's just say the people buying Dogecoin doesn't keep up and surpass the amount of Dogecoin that's made.
Okay,
That's
okay.
where you start losing value. So so that's the whole thing. But because they have this, I'm calling it the Wall Street bets GameStop effect, GameStop effect. You have chat rooms all over. You have TikTok, you have YouTube videos, you have uh, Reddit subgroups, and they are all like, and it's just a bunch of kids, a bunch of early 20-year-olds, and you might find some 30-year-olds and older in there as well, caught up in all this, but it's mostly this younger generation where they're just throwing any money they have whatsoever at Doge because these groups really believe that it can happen. And you're seeing it with Wall Street bets. It's Wall Street bets versus the hedge funds, and they're going at this war. The hedge funds are trying to short GameStop. They're saying nope, there's no way that it can climb, get higher. And Wall Street bets is like, oh, you want to bet, you want to play this game, and they just go in and keep throwing money at it and until it climbs, and then whoever throws the most money at it's going to win. In the Wall Street bets favor, they have the masses, right? They just have a whole bunch of people that want to make a lot of money but also want to stick it to the man. And with Dogecoin, you have a very similar type of crowd. You have a lot of people that want to stick it to the man and say, hey, we're going to turn this in. You want to doubt us, all you people, all you smart crypto people that say invest in Bitcoin, invest in Ethereum, invest in Cardano and ADA. You guys think you're so smart because of fundamentals. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to prove you wrong. And a bunch of idiots can easily surpass a smaller group of people that do understand all that with money talks. So
I think you
so
said it pretty right in the beginning that it really has no backing, no actual fundamentals to where, you know, just for a Cardano example, because I've been reading quite a bit about it. They're making major moves in Africa. They're inking deals. Like they just, like you sent me an article in regards to them making a deal with New Balance, the
yes,
shoemaker, the brand,
yes,
whatever you want to call it. Those are real life things to where it can benefit whoever's going to invest in that in the long run.
yep,
So I'm keeping my eyes on that for the longevity side of things because it's just one of the things I might as well jump in now while I can, while it's still early, like you said before. And that's just kind of where I'm going to be at because when you're dealing with money in general, it's just a fucking risk at the end of the day. You
yeah,
know,
absolutely,
you got to do your diligence to really know what you're going to be pouring your money into and all that, and just either going to watch it grow or you can just boom lose it like that.
yep,
So I mean that's just my take again. I'm no I'm no financial expert by any means necessary. Like I said, you're my walking Google. I chop it up with you. You tell me, and we have these conversations off air, whatever. Even on here, sometimes I learn new things just with the whole, I said about how Dogecoin loses value and all that. But you're right. It just really goes down to them not having any type of backing on major moves that they're making, like all these other big players. So yeah, that's just
yeah.
yeah for sure.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I should say be wise with your money, and if
mhm,
you are going to invest in Doge, I mean, I told my wife today. I finally, I said, you know what? After some thought, I said, if you want to invest in Dogecoin, go ahead. Prove me wrong. You could
yeah,
prove me wrong, and that's okay. I'm okay with being proven wrong. Um, and it might be kind of a fun thing where her and I can compare portfolios. Like she's in Ethereum, and Ethereum is just going through the roof right now. And Ethereum is just it's not something. It's something I'm stupid. I'm really stupid for not holding onto it.
yeah.
Um, but right now it's up 10% at 3,800, and you know and again, I'm pretty stupid for not being in Ethereum, but it's because I had my plan, my goals were to stack up with on as much Cardano and ADA as I could, and now I'm into some other smaller caps cryptos, and like I'm focused on one called V Chain, and that's doing it's done really well in my portfolio. I mean, Another one, I'm in a smaller one called Sia Coin, which
I've heard
right
about that
now,
too. Yeah.
yeah, and what their thing is they're in a few years when they get all developed and ready to go, they're trying to compete with the likes of Google and Amazon with decentralized cloud storage. And
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's
yep,
good. Yeah.
and so that's their thing, and I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna gobble up as much of that. I like the fundamentals of it, of the company. I like what they're doing. I like their goals, and I like the team. The team looks like a great team, and they're currently today they are listed at 4.085 cents. So,
Damn,
you know,
that's early. That's good to get into right now.
with a little 20 you can stack up
2022. Yeah,
on a
shit. Fuck.
little bit of Sia coin, you know.
Yeah, that's also that's a good kind of method, like you said. I mean, if we can be real, is to really do your research and see and think ahead of the future. How would this crypto or coin benefit the world in general? You know, to where what are they doing that could benefit the people? Right. That's kind of how
Absolutely.
we're looking at it, and that's kind of like a certain way you should look at this type of stuff. And that's kind of what I've been doing here and there when I read little articles like that. Like I said right now, Cardano's a big one for me because of the stuff that they're doing, you know, and the moves that they're making as of now. So it was crazy. Is like you've talked about this before, and within the interwebs, just me looking at kind of what people are talking about here and there on Twitter, whatever, they're actually bringing that up a lot more. Cardano this, Cardano that, you know,
Yeah.
Cardano's the wave. It's nuts. I'm like, yay, man. And
Like,
that should be kind of like those flags to look out for too, where like, you know, it's definitely something to at least, you know, do research on. You know what I'm
yep.
saying?
It's one of those things where I feel like that Brett Stradamus approach that came
Oh,
out,
dude, I
you
believe,
know,
yeah, yeah,
because like
for
I was
sure.
telling you, I was talking. I remember getting my hair cut at Milka's barbershop. She was cutting my hair, and we're this is January, and I was introducing. I said, hey, I just bought. I'm thinking about buying a whole bunch of Cardano. I did. I got a lot of it under $1. I bought a
Yeah.
lot of it under 90 cents. And sorry, I had to blow my ears out. Um, but
Random, but
you know,
okay.
and so and it was just one thing that and it was so new to her. I remember she kind of gave me the sideways glance, right? And I'm like, no, 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 just trust me. I'm like, you know, whatever. And so then I remember talking to her. Well, we got the crypto chat. She's part of our crypto chat group, and she's seen the light. You know, she's seen this Cardano thing, and I'm like, yes, this is so cool. It's just so cool that the stuff that I saw just a few months ago that, you know, I didn't discover it myself. Someone introduced it to me, and I went to the company. I watched the videos. I looked at wherever I looked at the white paper, and I looked at, okay, you know, what's the story here? What are you trying to do?
Hmm.
And you know, I had to learn the difference between proof of work, proof of stake, and then I had to learn the difference, you know, how what is the benefit of proof of work. Proof of work is like mining. Proof of stake is validation through nodes, through computers, and that's what I do. I stake to get more ADA. So all of my ADA that I have, I stake it, and I make more. So I'm basically um, getting free ADA just for having it validated through the nodes. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
it's a fun little thing, but just to watch Charles Hoskinson talk about just how he's not even worried. He addresses the Dogecoin, and he calls it a bubble. He addresses the Dogecoin situation on his YouTube channel. And if you guys are interested in learning more about ADA, learning more about if you don't know who Charles Hoskinson is and what ADA is all about, Charles Hoskinson was a co-founder of Ethereum. He was one of the original co-founders,
I didn't know
and
that.
they
Hmm.
had a disagreement. Him and Vitali, or whatever the guy's name is,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
they
Okay.
had a disagreement, and so Charles Hoskinson was like, okay, well, I know I know all about Ethereum. I know where the weaknesses lie. You guys have high gas fees. High, you know, Bitcoin has gas fees even higher. Gas fees are the fee that is taken out when you do an exchange. Like, say, I send you some money.
Hmm.
You'll know that it's you can look at it as a tax, right? But there's a fee, and those fees go to the mi- the yeah the miners or whatever, the people that are in the blockchain, whatever. It goes to other people. But And so, Charles Hoskinson was telling them, he said, your fees are way too high. We can do this in a better way.
Yeah.
And they didn't agree. So he started Cardano. And
It almost has those Bill Gates and Steve Jobs vibes. Kind of like when in the early when they started working together and they just split up. Which we'll talk about Bill Gates here in a little bit for
oh,
his little
Bill
thing that he got
Gates.
into, his little some. But yeah, it reminds me of that kind of friendship where I don't know what happened specifically within them two, Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, but they both created empires to where obviously Apple and Microsoft. So I think we're gonna see kind of almost a repeat of what happened with that situation and just go forward with crypto. So yeah, that's interesting, dude. I didn't know that. I didn't know that he was a co-founder of Ethereum. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's, and it's funny because a lot of people don't actually know that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so what he created was, so Bitcoin was first generation cryptocurrency, Ethereum is second generation current cryptocurrency, and now Cardano is third generation cryptocurrency. And his goal with Cardano is to where even if there is a fourth generation, that this third generation takes care of the bulk of issues, the gas fees, the transmission, how long it takes to send my money to you, and all of the different, he looked at the in and outs of it. He is one of those. He's the only cryptocurrency out there that uses peer-to-peer reviews, like that scientists use
Mm-hmm.
for his cryptocurrency. And people in the industry look at him like he's an idiot, but he's like, you have no idea what I'm building right now. I'm telling you, you said Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. What I've always referred to Cardano as is Amazon before it was a bookstore. Then it became a bookstore, and then it started turning some heads a little bit. Not really, people were sort of making fun of it because for 10 years they kept taking loss. Every year was a loss. But all they were doing in those 10 years was building all the factories all around the United States because they knew they had the plan. They knew the plan years in advance. They were just asking people to invest with them. That's exactly what Charles Hoskinson is doing with Cardano. Is he's building the empire, he's laying the infrastructure down.
Laying
It's
the
in
bricks down.
Africa, and now we're starting to see day by day people are gravitating away from the Ethereum platform. They're looking at what Cardano has to offer, and they're like, yeah, we like this is better.
Dope. Yeah, man. I'm stoked to see just the future, what it has for Cardano, man. And I'm just definitely gonna keep my eyes on it. Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, man, Amazon. What's crazy is that when it was a bookstore, I never would have thought it would become this whole pretty much the online marketplace for everybody to get whatever it is that they need in a quick fashion to where they want it tomorrow or even later today. Boom, there at your doorstep. You don't have to leave anymore.
Yeah,
It's wild, man. It's crazy. Mind
yeah,
blowing.
yeah. It was crazy. I sorry, I just got a text from Scott. Scott's in Mexico right now,
Woo!
and he asked
South
what I was
Scott.
doing, so I had to give him a selfie.
Yeah.
Of course, he sees a green screen, and you see what I'm really in.
I know, right? The penthouse suite, baby, down in Seattle, dude, living it up like no
Condo
tomorrow.
paid for, no car payments.
Man, yeah, buddy, yeah, buddy. So Bill Gates, okay,
Yes, Bill Gates. We got to talk about Bill.
woo. So the one thing that really surprised me is that like all they're both up there in age, right? But what's
No, she's
crazy?
she's young, dude. I'm about to
No,
slide your
him. I'm
DMs.
talking about him.
Oh, okay,
Him.
Melissa. I thought you
But
were talking about
I
Melissa
don't know. I don't know about
or
a
Linda.
homegirl, but the one thing that's crazy is that there was an article, and I don't remember where I read this, but it was within the interwebs that she was cool. Quote me that she was cool with Bill Gates taking these little vacation trips off with his ex little piece. So that I mean that's crazy. I'm like, man, Bill was just maybe I mean, come on, why would you go out on vacation with your ex piece every year? It was like a yearly thing, and she was cool with it. Like she's like, all right, cool, do what we got to do. I'm like, whoa,
Listen, listen,
wild.
listen. You end up dating the richest tech software chick in the world, right?
Yeah,
And she's like, "Oh, Papi, hey, listen, I got this other guy though, and like, hey, you're still gonna get all the millies. You're gonna, get it, whatever. Like, she's telling you this, you're still gonna get everything that you're getting. But once a year, I have this little thing I've got to do with Charles. Because she's still like Charles. He spoke to her in a way that maybe you aren't quite speaking to her.
Yeah.
And so obviously, she's got the money. Like, if you
Oh
say
yeah, she's got
no,
the
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
say
yeah.
no, you get nothing. You get nothing. So you either agree to it and get the money and just live with it, or you say no and he still gets his thing, and then he'll find someone who will agree to it. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you
I
going to
mean,
do?
it's crazy though. That was the one thing that it kind of struck me. Like, damn, fucking Bill Gates just doing his thing like that too. It's like, oh,
Oh,
maybe
dude, I
she's so
think,
living it up.
listen, when I found out that Bill Gates had some sort of connection with Jeffrey Epstein, like maybe they had some meetings, I was like, instantly, I was like, he's suspect. I think we're gonna find some things out about Billy Gates here in the future.
So when I was getting my haircut at elevated barber shop, we were just having a little chit chat around and stuff, Milk and I, and I was talking to another barber that works there, Ignacio. He was saying
Yeah.
that he had read somewhere that potentially she found out something about Bill having ties, like pretty close ties with Jeffrey Epstein, and that was the cause of the divorce.
Oh, well, if that's what happened, I guarantee you she signed a prenup, or she signed an NDA. He had her sign something or something. I don't know, but he has enough money to shut her up. So,
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't know. That would be wild. And speaking of Jeffrey Epstein, Glassine Maxwell, is that Glassine? I'm just fucking
yes,
butchering the
yeah,
name
no,
probably.
yeah, I know who you're talking about. Gasolini or something.
Gasoline, gasoline. You
Might
know
as
who he
well.
is, homegirl, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ghislaine
Dude, we were
Maxwell.
so off.
Dude, this is why you don't get drunk and stoned and shoot up heroin before a podcast.
Where it's legal though, right? They're saying they're gonna make it illegal, or was that only like a certain amount?
Make what, heroin legal?
I don't know. I don't know. Is that in Oregon only?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know,
I
man.
mean,
Fuck, I don't know what
I
I'm talking
think personal use. I think that they're now trying this experiment where they're so sick and tired of filling our prisons, incarcerating people on drug charges. They're like, listen, like to ask someone to stop doing drugs is like to ask someone to stop having sex.
about. And we
Ask
know we ain't
Jeffrey
giving that
Epstein.
up.
It's not
Fuck
going to
that.
stop.
But no, go back to homegirl, right? So what was up with this photo of her with a black eye? Like, we're supposed to have sympathy for this woman. I don't get that shit. Like,
Who had a black eye?
Guys,
Oh, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine.
Oh, she got beat up.
I don't know if she got beat up or she did to herself, but it's like almost like they're putting that out there to kind of like it's almost kind of like us putting that picture out there for us to feel guilty, like just feel sympathy, not guilty, but feel sympathy for her. It's like, dude, she was tied with one of the most craziest shit ever. You think like that's gonna fucking be like,
I think
oh, poor
any
her,
of those
yeah.
victims that came up to testified in court against Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein, I think any of them would have traded a black eye for what they had to endure under those monsters.
Hands down, man. That's fucking. But yeah, it was crazy that they were saying that she doesn't look the same. No shit, she's in fucking prison. The fuck you think she's gonna look like all happy and dandy? I don't get that, but
yeah, I've got no sympathy for her.
But it was just crazy. Like, they had to put that out there to like I said, like it's almost like we have to feel sympathetic for her. But I'm like, dude, but that's crazy, right? Like, after everything else, we never heard one peep about it. We never heard one peep about the documents that they supposedly found, like all the stuff, like the memo books that supposedly they found on her, all this shit. Nothing about
shit
it.
Went radio
That's
silent.
That's the crazy thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, I hope they fucking push on like putting something out there where they're gonna really pull the curtains on all this shit that's been covered up, So I'm waiting on that.
I think the reason why it was silent was because so many people in power were involved. Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew,
maybe Bill Gates.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Bill Gates. Bill Gates looks like a pervert. He looks like a pervert. He's gross. He's so gross looking. He just looks like a pervert, and he created the vaccine. So gross. Ew.
The tracking device.
Yeah, you ain't gonna
Shit.
track me, homie. My Apple phone already does.
No, those new AirTags that they put out.
Not doing it.
Not the-
Not gonna be tracked. There was a thing I just posted. Like they said, 4% of Apple users want to be tracked.
Why? Why?
Why do only 4%, or why
in general? I mean, that just goes against the your right to privacy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? I mean, I guess there's 4% of the population's lying, or is oblivious, or is a fanboy of tracking, big tech, whatever. Gross. I shut off. Even how pissed I was when I found out that if you put your phone in incognito, they still track it. They still, I use Signal to talk to people, and they say, yeah, well, why don't you just use WhatsApp? And I said, well, because WhatsApp is owned by Facebook, and in their latest terms and conditions, they told you that they are now tracking your data. They're now tracking your data on a signaler, on a end-to-end encryption, where they're not supposed to be able to read anything you say, nothing, whatever. But nope, privacy is just too much to ask for Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook team, and all the rest of the communists. And so I went with Signal. I mean, fuck WhatsApp.
That was some pop shit right there too.
That's straight from the single wide mansion, baby.
Oh, so I have to make what is it a confession, okay?
Ooh. I love confessions. Live on the Tip Touch podcast today, we have a confession.
So okay, I'll say this for I'll say this first, right? I would always be the person to make fun of these fucking things. Literally, I would always tell myself I'll never be caught dead in those fucking things. I would never buy myself a pair. Blah 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 blah. My wife is always like insisting for her, like, I'll buy you a pair.
You bought a man bra?
No, fuck no. I mean, maybe. No, I didn't. I bought myself a pair of Crocs. Dead silent. You're like, I'm fucked about this fucking 6-story penthouse suite right now. No, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up, because I'm not gonna lie, I'll admit to it. I just always thought those things were the most fucking hideous like shoes that anybody could wear.
Yeah.
But upon me trying them on, I'm like, yo, these things are actually pretty fucking comfortable. Like, I know why. Like, I know why people like these things, And I'm a man of like, I have to try it before I knock it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't knock it before you try it, how they say it, right?
When you bought these Crocs, was this before or after the pedicure that you guys went on?
You know what's fucking crazy? You son of a bitch. You know what's funny? My wife, my lovely wife, shout out to wifey, she actually gave me a manicure.
Shout out. Yeah.
No, because here's why. And like I said, I'm gonna be open about this.
Man, you're gonna go.
I've been doing some stuff around, just moving some stuff around here, since we moved into the house and all that. And I've just been roughing up my hands for some reason. You know how you get those little skins, they come out, and if you pull them back too much, you make yourself bleed. And you're like, fuck, I'm like peeling too much skin off of where my nails are at. And she's like, no, I have to fucking take care of this. Like, you're literally just about to peel every inch of skin from those, from your fingers, right?
The cuticles.
So yeah, the cuticles. And I was gonna say that too, Brad. Shit. But no, she did that. She did me the favor by cleaning up my cuticles. So yeah, I actually did get a manicure.
Hey, you know what? Okay, so if we're gonna throw out the confessions out there, hold on, let me take a sip.
Just swing it.
Yeah, just swing it down. In the Philippines, the manicures and the pedicures, that's like they have the helpers come over to the house and they'll do all that, right? And and so my wife, she said, hey, I really want to get you a manicure and a pedicure. And I'm like, I don't know if I can get with that, I'm just not, I don't feel like I need to. My nails are the way, they're okay. I'm not mad at them, Yeah, you've kissed them before. Come on. So Anyway, but she's like, no, 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 you got to do it. My dad does it all the time and loves it. He loves the way he feels after he gets a mani and a pedi.
Yeah.
I still haven't, but I was an inch closer, but I don't know, man. Like
I just don't because my wife's been trying to have me go with her to get a pedicure. And trust me, it sounds like it's comfortable to like, or not comfortable, like it would feel good for someone massaging your feet, all this other stuff. But I don't know. I just never really like actually would, consider doing that. There was one time where I was kind of thinking about it, like maybe we should. It was like a weekend, where we could do something, whatever, as a couple, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, nah, fuck that. I ain't gonna do that. I can't do that. The
yeah,
closest thing you give me to doing, like I said, a manicure, but that my wife who did that. So
yep, yeah, behind
nah,
closed
nah,
doors,
nah, nah,
nobody's
nah. I
knowing,
ain't,
nobody's taking
no one's
pictures,
touching. Yeah, no one's
not
touching these
showing up on
feet,
social
man.
media. Look at
Yeah,
Eddie.
yeah. Yeah, no one's touching my feet. I'll tell you, my feet aren't the hottest. I'll tell you that. But that's
Yeah,
just
we
me.
going from Eddie to Edna. That's hey, but it's 2021. There are there's no more boundaries anymore.
Okay.
There's no genders. There's no
uh,
boxes.
so,
None of it.
what state?
2021.
New Jersey. It was New Jersey. I
And
remember that.
Tracy.
New Jersey pretty much said you don't have to put your gender.
I mean, whatever. I think that we've already jumped off the cliff of craziness, and let's just see how far we drop. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, you know, basically Russia and China and all these other countries where strength and power are still a thing to them, and they take it seriously. I mean, you got China. China's navy is 15% larger than the United States.
No shit.
All they have to do is just align powers. Like, they're gonna flick our soldiers. I mean, they don't even want soldiers anymore. They just want people to fill the roles. They just want to check off all their little boxes of inclusivity, and they want people that don't, that like anybody who needs a safe space. Those are who they're trying to recruit into the armed services, and they don't want real guns. They want squirt guns. And so as soon as we start doing that, guess what? Checkmate, says Russia. Checkmate, says China. you know you're gonna want
Wow.
you're gonna want me in my AK, you know supporting this country. You're gonna want to see that, the red, white, and blue behind me, the stars, the stars and the stripes just blowing in the wind, bald eagles, McDonald's in my face. You're my Pabst Blue Ribbon or Budweiser, or Coors. You can do that too. You're gonna want that. You're gonna beg for that back. But with all you guys trying to push us out, trying to push the country boy out of the picture, out of the American frame, you're gonna want that back when Russia and China and Iran and Mars come back and they want to invade. You're
Oh
gonna
man,
want us
fuck.
back. You're gonna want the country boys back.
So
I'm saying I'll come out of my single wide mansion if I have to, but it ain't
with
gonna be
cigar.
cheap.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cheap.
So what I meant by that, actually, just to be more specific, in New Jersey, it pretty much what it states is that they're allowing people on driver's license, when they identify themselves on their gender, obviously, on the card, it'll give you the option to put an X, so it won't say that either you're a male or female. That's what I meant by saying that they changed.
No, I get it.
I guess that other 19 states are doing that as well. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Let them. Like, if you want to live in this world where you're nothing, you're whatever you are, be whatever
Yeah.
you are. We're in, we it's
Land
just
of the free.
one big giant cush ball right now. We are just one big cush ball where anything, you just make up the rules as you go. So go ahead. You don't want to have a gender, I don't care, but don't be mad at me if I want to have one. Don't be mad if my children want to have one. And don't be mad if my wife, not birthing mother or birthing person, not, all these other stupid terms that just people make up as they go just to push us out of the frame, whatever. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want.
That's the whiskey talking, though, for people that just probably wondering. What is that? What is that? With that wood knock?
Maker's Mark?
Oh, Maker's Mark. What did I say? Wood knock. There's one called like wood knock or something like that too, right?
I don't know. I don't
I
know,
don't know.
but
I'm
this
not
is
probably
it's
tripping.
pretty good. What is it? It says it's Kentucky straight bourbon. So I helped one of my buddies move,
Oh, you
and
told me. Yep, you said that. Yep, you
he
mentioned
paid me
that.
in whiskey,
Nice,
and
as a man should. Yep.
he said that this was the mixer. He also gave me an Elijah. I don't know the name. I've never had it. It's called Elijah Craig Small Batch Kentucky Straight Bourbon.
Hmm.
I haven't
Okay.
cracked that one open. He said that's a special one.
A special one.
You're not gonna want to put anything in that but ice. So that's just more of a
On the rocks. On the rocks.
yep,
Nice.
yep. When I'm
Respect that.
sitting alone, you know, with my cigar, my glass with ice, and Elijah Craig.
You're drinking
What's up,
America's
Craig?
finest.
What's up, Craig? How you get fired on
So
your day off?
you got fired a day off stealing boxes?
Hey,
I love
I'm gonna be
that.
back here taking a shit.
That's a classic,
Classic.
man. Forever.
Yeah.
So on a serious note though, I want to talk about this just because it hit home. Um it's it really hit home. And I'll just say that.
Yeah.
So there was an incident that happened, unfortunately. Happened, I would say, like a couple weeks ago. There was a stabbing that happened. A gentleman by the name of John Hune, and the reason I want to talk about this is because my wife actually she used to work with them, and I didn't know this after. Well, what's crazy? I read the
Wow.
article. I read the article about what happened, and at first, how it came about, it came up on I think it was Como 4 News. I was on my Facebook and it popped up like Bothell man stabbed, and I'm like reading about it, and it didn't really give it too much detail, nothing. Everything's just vague that they were still doing an investigation, all this, and that. A couple of days later, my wife, she told me that one of her coworkers passed away. Young guy, she used to work with him when they were at the office. It was kind of almost uh, resembles like if I were to work with somebody, I would see them every day. You know, you're already used to. It's like that person's part of your life in the moment of you going to work every day for 8 hours, 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week.
Mm.
So I can almost you know uh, like feel that because I've had actually a coworker that I used to work with that took his own life not too long ago. Rest in peace to Bill. But this at home. So what happened? She had told me that her coworker passed away because he got stabbed, and I'm like, that's
Wow.
it's crazy. I just read a story about that on the news, and I forwarded her the story, and she didn't know if that was they were talking about him because they didn't really give a name out or nothing like that. And then sure enough, I think it was a couple of days after that, found out that that was actually her coworker that got stabbed.
Wow.
And what happened was that not to really go into too much into it because it's a touchy subject because the family and his wife that he left behind. But the thing is, I just want to take this time to pay my deepest condolences to
Mhm.
the family and his wife. It's just a sad situation, bro. Like just because it hit close to home, and it really kind of messed with my wife a little bit because he was a young guy. He just got married.
Mm.
I mean, dude, his life was just starting, starting with his wife. I'm sure he wanted to have kids and all that, but it's just a reminder, bro. Like, life can be just like that, bro. And it's crazy
Absolutely.
because the situation, how everything went down, was just it doesn't make sense to me. It's just stupid. I think the way things went down. And again, for people that want to just, I guess, read about the incident, you can go. I'm sure it's look it up on the internet, and I don't really want to go too much into the details about it, but they're considering this to be a hate crime. Um,
Oh.
and so they're really they're doing the investigation right now, and some things, yeah, I just say that it's just crazy. It's crazy, and
It's great.
again,
I can hear like the almost like the not nervousness, but the apprehension in your voice,
yeah,
like you want to
because
talk
it's
about it, but you can't.
yeah, exactly. Because I just, like I said, I have so much respect, obviously for his family and his wife. I don't want to, tame the waters a little bit from, because I say I only know like just the stuff that I've read myself, but there might be other stuff that they're coming out with more details, whatever, whatever may have you. But that's that, and I'll leave
Yeah.
that to them. But again, my condolences to his family and his wife. It's an unfortunate event, man, and it reminds me, bro, like straight up to, I'm pro Second Amendment, man. Like for me, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to take that chance. And that's just me speaking from my own, like,
Yeah, 100%.
protect my family at all times, protect myself at all times.
Mm.
Because I mean, just the world today, bro, it's just so fucking crazy, And I always talk about this with my wife. Like, I'm just a man of like being ready, like being 2 steps ahead. I don't want to take that risk. I really don't.
Right.
And as scary as it sounds, because like, obviously one could say, you don't live in fear every day, but true, that's very true. But I want to be prepared. That's just me.
Well,
I like being prepared and I like being ready. So
yeah, I mean,
I'll leave it
when
at
you're
that.
trained with the firearm, you're going to live in less fear,
Yeah,
and
straight
that's
up.
just that's the truth of it. And mm, it is good to be able to protect yourself and protect your family, and you never know. We do live in crazy times, and you know, eh, you you don't want to have to hurt anyone, but
Exactly.
if
No.
someone is threatening your life, you have every right to um, protect yourself. I was just watching a video on social media. It was a guy who had he had a protective order against him. He went to a house with a knife, and the security camera caught him beating the door down and yelling
Mm,
obscenities, and basically he eventually worked his way into the home, and it was a basically a domestic issue. Worked his way into the home, into the woman's home, and who had a restraining order against him, a protective
mm,
order against him, and he's chasing her with a knife. She was armed with a gun, was able to shoot him twice, once in the head, and he died. But she was under attack. She could have
yeah.
easily died right there at the arms of an angry, very angry man, and she decided to protect herself, and that's exactly what that right is for.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a
true.
God given right to us here in this country, and you have to defend yourself.
Yeah. No, straight up. That's just that. You definitely just want to just watch your own back and just, use it when necessary. And again, you don't hope that it needs to come to that, but you just want to be ready. That's just
Yeah,
plain simple. But yeah, man, it's crazy shit though. It was just when I found that out, it's just like, man, that's
yeah,
that's fucking nuts.
it is crazy, and especially you throw hate crime into it. It's one thing like one thing I'm seeing in the media is they, if it's a white guy that kills a person of color or whatever, they
Mm-hmm.
automatically call it a hate crime just because the suspect is white. They'll call
Mm-hmm.
it a hate crime without any other facts. But when you find out that something actually is a hate crime, like you specifically target someone because of their ethnicity, their race, their religion, you target them because of that, that's sort of on a whole new level. Like I get
Yeah.
like these druggies that or these robbers that just like, hey, I'm going to stick anyone for the skrill,
Mm-hmm.
and they go after, they indiscriminately, they look for easy targets, right? That's always what they do. They look for easy mark. So I get that. And it's not right, but to me what's less forgivable is when you target somebody because of something they cannot control,
Yeah.
you know, or maybe they can choose it. Maybe they choose a certain faith, and I mean, it's crazy, like all the Asian hate that I'm seeing. Like you go to New York, and like this one lady was walking down the street, and I think she cut the Asian right in the face. Like they couldn't, and the Asian, the
Mm,
Asian woman, there was two Asian women walking, and she said, and the suspect, she said she happened to be black, but she told the Asian, take off your mask. And the Asian didn't even really recognize her. She said, take off your mask. And then she like cut her, and she couldn't even believe it. She's like, what just happened? And so they arrested her. But yeah, I mean, the it's so crazy. The like the amount of hate that can happen just because, I was flipped off the other day. I was flipped off. I was driving, and this lady, I'm not gonna state her race, but like I was with the black guy. I was with my black friend, and and there was a lady, and I was the only one at the intersection, and she just flips me off. So I look at my friend
randomly.
Just randomly, but it was targeted for me. Like it was clearly for me. I was clearly the target. And I'm like, I'm laughing because I'm like, what is going on? Like my music's not up. Like, what is going on right now? Why was I targeted? I was clearly targeted. And so, but I mean, I couldn't do anything but laugh because it was just like, it was so funny because it was I'm like, the only thing it could have been was because I'm white. That's the only reason that because there was nothing. I wasn't dressed like this. I wasn't dressed all obnoxious. I was just clear. I was just working, just in my work clothes. And I'm like, this is insane. And so, my buddy, he's like, hey, you got to follow her. And I'm like, bad news. Only bad things can happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think you'd want to go down that road, man. That's fucking nuts.
I watch a lot of news.
Yeah, man, that's fucking crazy. I don't get people sometimes though, bro. That's just, I don't get that shit at all. But yeah,
no,
man.
I mean,
I'm sorry for bringing the mood down, but it's just one of those things where I kind of had to put out there,
Hey man, it was on your mind.
Yeah, man, definitely no, man. But it's
sorry for the loss, though. That's that's tough.
Yeah, it is definitely. But yeah, man, it's above all that, man, just because I know we want to wrap up this episode because I think we're a little bit more over than the hour mark. I think we are right. I'm glad that you're better though. I'm glad wifey's better. I'm glad baby girl's better. And the Tip Twitch podcast shall continue on. So definitely, man. I mean, it's the energy drinks, the whiskey, the cigars.
Yep.
The cocaine. I'm just playing, not the cocaine.
Well, you're not saying that.
No. But yeah, I mean, definitely. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. Again, this is us from the Tip Twitch podcast, from us to you from the virtual studio. Definitely go check out all our previous content on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You know the biz. Direct links are in our bio on Instagram. Go follow us there if you haven't. And go check out all our posts there where we have on up-to-date stuff on what that has to do with the podcast. But this is us from us to you. Catch you on the next one. Take care. Have a good weekend. Have a good day. All that. Peace.
One love, brother.